Okay, sweet. We are live. Wow. All right. I was not expecting. There's like a countdown and everything, so I didn't think it would go early. I'm gonna try to be pretty quick here. Maybe play a game or two of NCAA. I want to recap what an amazing weekend of college football that we had. Um, so we'll go ahead and get into that in just a minute here. Get this going quick. But I mean, honestly, like where I would love to take us is to the top 10 matchup. Don't know if it was really a top 10 matchup because, one team showed up, the other one didn't, but that was Texas and Michigan. Spread was -7.5 for Texas. I think the final score, I don't even remember the final score. It was like 34-17 or 34-16 maybe. Man, this is bad. Just remember, yeah, okay, 31-12. I was even similar numbers, I guess. Um, but anyways, Texas just put on a great performance. Their O line looked really good against Michigan's defensive line. Even when like the defensive line was able to like somewhat provide any pressure, man, uh, Quinn Ewers just could make plays, and it was really cool to see that because I've been a pretty big fan of his for a while. Just seeing him develop and grow over the last 3 years, I think he's going to be a top 5 pick. I just don't know how people can keep hating on him. I think he's really good. He throws one of the best balls out there. And I also thought like overall Texas's defensive coordinator scripted and called a pretty good game to limit what Michigan do offensively. Michigan seems very limited as it is. I don't think they know what they want to do um, at quarterback necessarily right now from the looks of it. I mean, they're calling two different offenses, and it's just not working for them. I don't even know what to expect from them moving forward. Texas, I'll get into my top 10 in a minute. Um, but I very much think Texas is going to play for the national championship just off that performance offensively alone. Defensively, maybe they're not tested yet, but they look damn good. Um, I don't think I have anything else. This thing is moving quick. And I'm just yapping and got a delay. I mean, I could get into my top 10 here. You know, I'll start at 10, and it's tough, really. I think there's three teams that are clearly a step ahead than the rest of the pack. But 10, I had Missouri. I think offensively they're really good with Luther Burden. I think Brady Cook's having a good season. I haven't had a ton of time to watch them, so I really don't know how good their defense is. I know they haven't really played anybody, but just from like preseason expectations and how they've looked from what I've seen, I think 10 is pretty fair. 9 I have Utah. Utah has looked really good. I thought they were gonna score more against Baylor over the weekend. Um, but still, it's just a great team over there. I think they're going to win the Big 12. Number 8 right now, I have Miami. I didn't see what they did over on Saturday, to be honest with you. So I'm really just going off of their Week 1 performance versus Florida. I'm sorry, which still was very impressive to keep them, at the top. And then 7, I have Ole Miss. Just haven't really played anybody. They've looked really good when they play. Just I want to see them play some competition. And then this is kind of where I think I I I don't know what other people do, and I haven't looked at what the AP poll really has said on some of these teams. I probably should look at it, but I don't really care what they think because some of these voters don't even watch the games. Um, so I'd Bama at 6. Mostly like a little overreaction from how they played over the weekend. Um, I thought there's a couple teams that played better than them consistently. So I did jump 2 teams ahead of them, which is one is USC. I think the defensive coordinating hire they made this offseason was absolutely amazing. Um, you know, if you're struggling on defense, if you're at any level, just hire someone that has some connection to the Baltimore Ravens. It's gonna fix your defense a ton, and it's working for them. I think they've improved a lot there. I like a lot of the defensive players that they have. Bear Alexander, and then I can't remember the other guy's name. I think Lucas is the other D lineman. He looks really good. Um, and then at number 4, and this is a team that might be kind of a shocker to some, but man, Tennessee looks freaking really good. They are almost complete. I think there's a couple pieces they're missing on both sides of the ball, but their offense is moving fast. Nico Amaliva is really good. I couldn't tell you which one of their receivers are great, but I think Nico's doing a really good job at doing what that offense needs to do, and that's just getting that ball to as many people as possible and airing it out. And then defensively, I think they're pretty good. You know, I think James Pierce is consensus top 5 pick. Um, I like I've liked what I've seen from them, especially the big win over NC State on Saturday. And then so that's like I think 4 through 10, you could kind of have like a lot of teams. You know, some people would probably still have Penn State in there, Oregon. I don't know if there's anybody else that you would consider in those positions. Um, but you know, now I get into the top 3, which I think this tier, like this is where I think you see a huge tier into everybody else. I think there's some teams like Tennessee, USC, and Bama. I think those teams right now can play into this tier, and then obviously other teams can too. But I think Ohio State at 3 right now they look really good. I've seen that they started using some QB runs, which is what Chip Kelly likes to do. I'm expecting them to. They have a pretty light schedule, and so I think until they play Oregon, so I'm expecting them to turn it up a little bit each week, and they did again. You know, Jeremiah Smith had a really nice a touchdown run or catch, a lot of yards after catch there, and then Texas is number 2 for me. I mean, just with that performance alone, with the preseason expectations, it's just really hard for me not to have them top 2 when they've looked really good so far. I mean, they've only allowed 12 points all year against the 2 teams. They shut out Colorado State, 12 points. I mean, really, I think it was a garbage time touchdown that Michigan scored at the end. So like in the first three quarters of football, of real football, it's been lights out for them defensively. Um, Obviously, I don't know what their schedule looks like. I know everyone's circling October 19th when they play Georgia, who I have number 1. That's going to be a really good game. But yeah, I mean Georgia. I mean, you completely blow out Clemson week 1. I don't even know what they did this over the weekend. Didn't play anybody, but he looked really good. I mean, they returned so many people. I think Carson Beck's really good. I think the tight end duo they have, I couldn't name them right now, but I think the tight end duo they have is really strong. I don't know if there's really anyone that has a better duo of tight ends like that. But yeah, I mean that's my top 10 right now. And then you know I'm gonna touch on some teams that maybe have struggled, and then obviously you know the biggest talking point I think from the weekend was you know the upset with Notre Dame. I just at this point with Notre Dame, I mean I don't know what you do with Marcus Freeman, man. Like I, I like him as a coach. I think he still has a ton of opportunities to get better, but like dude, this is like year 1 stuff that happens as a head coach. You know, this happened to him in 22 when he lost to Marshall at home. Like I get that. I don't even know if where Northern Illinois is as a program, but you can't be doing this, man. Like, not after everybody you return. Your defense looks really good. Like, I don't know if they just completely overlooked them. I mean, they have time to fix things. It's a 12-team playoff. They could still get there, I guess, but I don't even like saying that. Like, honestly, I think they should be out. You can't just lose to Northern Illinois, who I think you were a 40-point favorite on, and just you get to the playoffs. That'd be crazy, in my opinion. I'm doing so much talking. I have no idea what's happened in this game. Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't even think I've seen that they're still ranked. They shouldn't be ranked. I don't even think Northern Illinois should be ranked. I think some snubs from the what is it, the top 5 or top 25 were Illinois and Boise State. Like, Boise State was ranked, now they're unranked, and I'll get into that into a minute. Like, because Oregon struggled with them, but another team that struggled, that was able to win, and honestly, I'm not super concerned with it still because Bowling Green has, I think, some really good players. I think they're probably going to win that conference. But Pitt State struggling them. I mean, they were losing for a good amount of that game. It's cool to see them, fight back. Let me pull up. Can't remember what the stats were. I mean, yeah, the one interception, but like, Drew Aller throwing 20 passes, only completing 13. Nick Singleton had a really good game. I mean, Tyler Warren, man. I mean, sadly he didn't. It doesn't look like he scored, but 8 reception, 146 yards. That's some really good ball from them. I I think they're still trying to figure things out offensively. I think their defense is still really good. I'm not too concerned with them moving forward, but I don't have them in my top 10 for this reason. But they're there. They can easily get back in there. And in Bama, man, I didn't watch this game closely. I was keeping tabs of it, but dude, I mean, you're going to the fourth quarter. You're up 14-13 versus for South Florida, which South Florida is pretty good, but I was expecting them to kind of pull away earlier. Um, but like, I don't know. I gotta watch it again to see what happened. I mean, they ended up winning 42 to 16, which is still a pretty big win. But you scored 28 points in the fourth quarter. It kind of skews the stats a little bit when it was a really tight game, pretty much from start to finish. And then, yeah, like I mentioned earlier with Oregon, like, man, how do you almost lose to the state of Idaho? Like, you struggle against Idaho, an FCS opponent, and then you go play Boise State, who's good. Eh, Like, you guys should be, with how this team is being talked about all preseason, you know, with everybody that they have coming in, they have returning, like, you guys got to be better than this. I don't know if it's Dylan Gabriel or what the issue is, but they're struggling really bad there. I don't know if they're going to make it in the Big Ten this season. I think Ohio State's going to come to their house and just smack them right now. I mean, just they can't tackle. Their O line looks really bad, just fundamentally. I mean, I was expecting those, like, the defense and the O line to be pretty strong units for them for Dylan Gabriel to work with, because Dylan Gabriel is a good college quarterback. He's not gonna doesn't have the best arm, but like, he needs help, and I'm just expecting more from them. And that's why I don't have him in my top 10. But I know other people's are still pretty high on them, and I can understand, so because they have I think a good roster. It's just something's not meshing with them right now. Um, and then, like, September Heisman. I mean, I don't know what other people are thinking. I think there's a clear front runner. I think there's somebody that definitely deserves to be in consideration. And if he doesn't end up in New York, I'm gonna be. It's probably because he got hurt or something, and I hope it's not that. But Ashton Gentry's got to be either everyone's second pick, maybe even first pick, but he's got to be up there for people's Heisman. The guy is going bananas. I'm gonna run it here. Hang on, let me pause this real quick. Let me get his stats up for you guys. This I don't know the last time we've seen a running back. I know he said he wanted to have like 2,500 rushing yards. I think he's gonna have more if he keeps his pace up. The guy's at 45 carries, 459 yards, 9 touchdowns, and 10 yards average per rush. He just torched Oregon and had a really good week before that. Guy's really good. I big fan of him. I think he's going to be the best running back going into the NFL. Maybe Ali Gordon's got something to say about it. There's a lot of running backs that might have something to say about it, but I think right now he is RB1. And then the other guy, I mean, like I said earlier, like Quinn Ewers looks so good against Michigan, and Michigan still got a really good defense. Just his pocket presence, the way he was throwing the ball, like you, I just don't think there's another quarterback that's doing um, that kind of thing at the level he is right now. And I mean, I think there's some guys that are gonna get there, but just to see his development and see where he is at right now. I know there's people that are still gonna hate on him for some reason. I don't know why, um, but yeah, he's just really good. Um, and then I did want to go over two teams that we were really high on before the season. I was at least, and that's Cal. I mean, like Cal goes to Auburn, SEC territory, very tough environment. You know, I know they're still kind of in rebuild mode, but like, I mean, they're Auburn's a 12-point favorite, and you go and win I think 21-7. Just huge for them to see where that program's at, especially like with how things they did with the Pac-12. I know they didn't want that, um, and I think there might be a sleeper to win the ACC. I really liked what I saw from them. I thought NC State was that team, but it might be them. Well, no way, I missed that tackle. Um, and then other team that had a really cool win uh, was Virginia. I think they were down 17-3 at some point, and then just to come back, and then that fourth quarter, um, like QB sneak to get the lead was really cool to see them do that. Um, have it up, I'm pretty sure, but I mean, Anthony Calandria just doing Anthony Calandria things. 357 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Yeah, and then, Malachi Fields is 11 receptions, 148 yards. Like such a really good performance from that offense there. Wake's built a really good program and has had their number for some years. I mean, if you're a Wake fan, I know it's probably brutal seeing your team have that lead and just give it up, against a team that you probably think you have a chance of beating. Like realistically, it's like one of those games. Okay, they're good, but I think we can beat them. Um, it's brutal there. And then a team that I'm buying right now, and I'm a Michigan fan, is Michigan State. I think they're very young. Especially the quarterback. Quarterback's only 18 years old. One of the receivers I think I've seen was like 17. He's catching passes in the end zone. Like the coach, Jonathan Smith, that they just brought in from Oregon State, has them firing on a lot of cylinders. Their defense looks really good. A lot of that's from Joe Rossi, who's Minnesota's previous defensive coordinator. Um, I think they're gonna go bowling after. I mean, them beating Maryland was like a must win for them to go bowling, and to see them do that in the way that they did it was really cool to see. Um, but I mean, that's pretty much my week 2 takeaway. I probably missed some things. I did have a lot of games up that I was keeping tabs on. Um, but I mean, I think I covered all the important stuff. Um, I don't even know if there's anyone listening to this, but they want to chime in, add some context, set some questions. Be happy to answer them. But I'm gonna finish up this game, try to get out of here so we can watch some Monday Night Football and get ready for another good week of hopefully a good week of college football. The games don't look as great this week as far as marquee matchups, but um backyard brawl this week will be good. I need to figure out how to score here. No, I need to get out of bounds. I haven't, and I apologize for like the lack of streams. I something I knew was gonna happen. I just been extremely busy the last. Oh, you dropped it. Um, the last few weeks, and I just haven't had a lot of opportunities to stream. But I is here, and I hope I can do these recaps every week. There might be some weeks I'm not gonna be able to just due to weddings and stuff, but um, I'm gonna super sim. I'm just gonna do offense only. Do, do, do. I might set it up kind of like a podcast, but I don't know. I just like content wise, like I don't have much time to do a lot of the stuff I want to do, and I want to try to be a little creative and try to utilize that limited time as much as possible. And I think this is something that'll be pretty productive for me and to help grow this channel. Well, how do you drop that, man? I can also go over my college football fantasy team. Uh, Actually started Calandria. He had me a good amount of points. Hang on 1 second. Yeah, he had me 34 points. Jackson Dart, another guy that, I'm pretty high on. I think he might find his way in New York too if he keeps playing pretty good. But he had me a solid 26 points. Anderson from Memphis had me 26 points. Murray and Hampton, I didn't see that game. They were playing actually Charlotte, but he didn't seem to have the high performance. He only had me 7 points. Zachariah Branch only 1 point. Trey Harris 13. Trey Harris is a really good back. I have pretty much all of Ole Miss's star players outside of running back. It's a guy that Notre Dame does have that I really like because I wanted Michigan to get is Jeremiah Love. I mean, he's put up some really good numbers as a freshman. 2 weeks into the season, I think he might be one of the offensive freshmen of the month. Him and Jeremiah Smith are probably right there. Both are super good, really talented guys. Do, 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 do. I'm gonna try to score before the quarter. I'm gonna try to get the ball back. The guy did it. What? Crazy. Crazy. Wow, I can't believe I overthrew that. That was wide open. Uh, it's amazing how none of that is gonna happen. Like, as a Michigan fan, I'm not like really too upset with what's going on with the team, just because I know it's gonna be more. It seems it's gonna be a rebuild, which is fine. Um, it's just you expected a little bit more, especially like with the QB situation. Like, if this is the performance that we were gonna get, like, why not try a transfer? You know, unless they were expecting Jack Tuttle to be pretty good. I mean, he might be. I just don't know. He's been in college for like 20 years, hasn't done anything. Um, but I think the offensive coordinator is probably struggling because he's trying to call two different offenses. Players are probably confused half the time because it's a whole new O line. The receivers are just like the lack of development at receiver there is not good. Like, very disappointed. With how the receivers have been the last, even like with Harbaugh, like last like 3 years. And I don't know if it's coaching or if we're just not recruiting the right guys. I like the high 4-star receiver we have coming in. I think he will be a difference maker right away. Um, I mean, defensively we're so good, so I'm happy there. But yeah, just I'm expecting us to play better throughout the season, and it's just not off to a great start. I'm gonna finish. Hopefully, I can score this drive. Uh, oh, thank you for not fumbling. Dude, they are stopping my run. Another thing I did like about Texas is I think they could put anybody out at running back and be okay. I thought that O line was really just that good on picking up their double teams and their, I don't even know if you want to say their chips. Um, but overall, I thought that team was just really good offensively. I mean, it's Sark. He is what he does. I was literally just talking about that. I wouldn't say it's the fall. I would say it's more of the rise. Um, no, I mean realistically, I just think like our coaching staff whiffed on QB. A score. Oh wait, I did kick another field goal. I was like, wait, am I up 20? Um, yeah, the QB mismanagement this offseason was is really what the I think the concern is. We're trying to run two different offenses. I mean, we really didn't on Saturday, but like you could just tell that the players look confused. Especially the line, like they're like hesitant on where to go on the blocks, and therefore they're missing some blocks. But hopefully, when we play Arkansas State this weekend, who is a bottom 100 team, respectively, uh, we can try to figure things out. Maybe you just play the one QB. Um, Play the one QB and just try to figure things out. I mean, I don't think Davis Warren's really all that bad. I mean, I just think our receivers aren't helpful for him. Like Loveland is like the only option it feels like to throw the ball to, and it should be that way. Um, Offensive line I think is actually not that bad. Um, I think Texas's front seven isn't bad, um, but I would like to see that O line improve throughout the year. I like to see. I mean, I wanted to see the freshman QB, but it sounds like his parents had said that they want him to redshirt, so that's what he's choosing to do. So he's going to choose a redshirt this year and not play, which is fine. That's his choice. But like, if it's like Davis Warren's a senior, like what is he going to be back next year? Okay, probably, but like, how much improvement is he really going to have from now until then? Like, he's been on the team since 2021. He looks about the same. Like he's looked pretty okay his whole time at Michigan. Um, is Jack Tuttle gonna come in and provide a little bit better? But like, I don't know. I think we wanted Alex Orji to start personally, and he's just not there. Um, and it's unfortunate for Michigan, but uh, you got to do what you got to do. I mean, as a fan, you're accepting that your team isn't where you were hoping it to be. But that just happens. I mean, I'm not saying I didn't think this would happen. Yeah, no, we're not hiring Dion. I think Dion, like one thing I will say that I like about Michigan, I can just tell just like by watching them, is their culture is good. Culture is really good there. Um, but Dion would absolutely ruin that. I mean, I knew what you meant when you said as head coach. Advancing a week. All right. I mean, yeah, I was expecting this to go about 30, 40 minutes. I don't know. I covered a lot, so I'm gonna do this again next week for sure. We'll recap week 3. Um, Again, Quinn Ewers, Ashton Genty, my two favorites for the Heisman right now. Georgia, Texas, Ohio State, top 3. Um, buy into Michigan State. But yeah, I don't know if I'll stream again until next Monday. If I do, I will see you then. But if not, I'll see you Monday. Enjoy your